Alpha Tau Gamma, strengthening lives one young man at a time. What's the experience like at Alpha Tau Gamma? Here's the story now from Alpha Tau Gamma's Jim Mulcahy from the class of 1960. And from the class of 1975, here's Sean Maloney.
You would not realize when you're a young man you join Alpha Tau Gamma what that means to you and how that's going to strengthen your entire life ahead of you. The relationships you make while you're at school and the lifelong friendships that you develop are great while you're there doing it, but you just don't realize the importance of that until a few years after. A guy that has the agricultural gene in his blood has like a tremendous work ethic to begin with. And if you involve yourself and you surround yourself with a bunch of guys that have that same kind of gene, things happen, things get done. And that's a trait that agriculture has always brought to the table. They get away from their mother and their father, and they're on their own. And now they have all these responsibilities to run a house and set a budget and get the food and mow the lawn, do all these different things. And then they can realize the guidance that they have with a great, strong alumni association and the brothers that they're getting to meet and building that brotherhood with each other. These are life-changing experiences that they take on to make them better leaders in their community and in their personal lives.
We like each room to have at least 2 guys, and a couple of the rooms can have 3 guys. But they live in those rooms, and then they have social rooms outside of that, and each of them has a chore. Everybody has a chore called a house job. And not only do you have a house job, but you also have a house office. Everybody has a responsibility. You might be the social chairman, and it's your job to call up the sororities, that's where the girls live, and make sure that you've got parties between the fraternity and the sorority. Back in 1989, we had been contacted by the Massachusetts Commissioner of Agriculture, August Schumacher Jr., and he asked us to take a vacant space outside of 100 Cambridge Street in Boston and create an oasis, a living, breathing place for state employees to go and sit and have a coffee break, for people who are waiting for somebody to do business in there. We created this garden, put in 7,000 red pavers. We planted all the trees and shrubs, and then we maintained it for 12 years. Did a tremendous job, and we enjoyed doing it. The kids would come from school and help. We have been doing these kinds of things for decades.
You know, we're living on a much different age. Back in the day when Jim and I were growing up, there were 2 separate role models. The father went, earned, and made the check, and the mother was basically a domestic caretaker. Now that's different. Everybody's out working. You have to work together as a team. So as a young man, you learn these skills and the communication skills to develop a relationship with another person so that you're splitting up the duties 50-50. It's very, very important to learn these kinds of skills and guidance to make you a better person in your life. A lot of the alumni, they would come up to dinners and they would sit there and they would talk to us and give us life experiences. They would talk about the industries that they're in, which we're all studying to be part of. And they gave us great guidance. They gave us an opportunity at the house to fall on our face, to not pay a bill. And you know what happens? They shut the lights off. You don't pay the bill, the light goes off. And you grow up real quickly. But you grow up not just quickly, but you grow up with the guidance and direction of a strong alumni base and other good friends.
And we have a trust fund. We set it up back in 1982. We set it up at the State Street Bank and Trust Company in Boston. Well, this is the James Underwood Crockett. Now, it's got a long name after this. It's the Agricultural Technology Growth Fund. And our alumni put in money to start this trust fund. And it has been growing every year. And we have been making grants since 1983. And we've made $223,800 worth of grants. And these have gone to agricultural entities in New England and New York.
This is a long history of good, strong learning skills. It's more important now than perhaps earlier to survive and be proud of yourself as you are out in the world today. These are some of my best friends in life. It's amazing to me. I had the unfortunate experience of 10 years ago this year losing both my mother and father within a 4-month period. When I got up to give the eulogy on my father, I looked out in the back, and the last 3 or 4 pews of the church were filled with a variety of different ATG guys, from the youngest right straight through guys who are in their 80s. So that's how tight we are as a brotherhood. And it's pretty amazing stuff. They travel from many, many miles to attend that event.
The fraternity is a great learning experience. You have the opportunity to stub your toe. You can make a mistake because you're amongst friends. You help one another, and each of you grows because of it. We're the only fraternity that's solvent out there. There's about 15 fraternity and sorority houses, and they go from hand to mouth every year.
They set a path that I never saw coming in my life, or was realizing was what was going on at that particular time. It has given me a direction in my life now that has taken me down a road that is just filled with rewards that I just never saw coming. In the Stockbridge School of Agriculture, so you're living with and studying with like-minded folks that are studying in the green industry or something. They might not be arbor, it might be landscape operations, it might be fruit and vegetables, it might be turf management, but guess what? It all comes out of the soil. What Alpha Tau Gamma did to me was made me grow up into the man that I am today. And I'm pretty proud of where I'm at in life today, and it was because of the leadership I had, not just from the brothers I lived with in the house, but also the alumni.
And where are they going to learn how to do it? Where are there going to be people to run these businesses? They come from the Stockbridge School of Agriculture. And when you're there, you enhance your education by being a member of Alpha Tau Gamma, and that pays off for the rest of your life.